Yo, yo, BC in this mug, yo. Port court, Bitcoin business. Rise and grind, time to stack sats. Wake up, hit the block, explorer. See my future looking bolder than a hardware wallet. Cold storage, got that laser focus. No mirage, just hodl age. Fiat full, stay mad, stay salty while my crypto bag's getting hefty. Good morning, crypto. It's a brand new day. Stacking Bitcoin, come what may. Good morning, crypto. Making moves from the basement straight to the news. They sleeping on the tech blind, thinking central banks are so kind. I'm out here building brick by brick, decentralized future, that's the trick. No permission needed, straight fire. Got that digital scarcity desire. Sets, I want more to the moon, that's what we're here for. Good morning, crypto, it's a brand new day. Stacking Bitcoin, come what may. Good morning, crypto, making moves from the basement straight to the news. Sats, I want more to the moon, that's what we're here for. Good morning, crypto, it's a brand new day. Stacking Bitcoin, come what may. Good morning, crypto, making moves from the basement straight to the news.
Step 1, wake up early, go rise the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge and financial freedom. Today, I've got a few headlines to go over. We're seeing some more rumblings coming out about SpaceX, so we're actually going to talk about it this time. You know, there was a little bit of news that came out on it before. It seems like now it's getting confirmed just a little bit more, but it's still just a could. So we'll get to that one in just a little bit. We got the Fed trying to say that they're not doing QE, but we went over that a little bit yesterday. We'll go over it just a little bit more today since the stream was all laggy yesterday. And then we've got some stuff coming out from Scott Bessent as well. We will get to all of that in just a second. You know what we got pulled up in the background now. It's that stock heat map. We are seeing just a little bit of some movements in the pre-market this morning. We've got Apple continuing on a little bit of some downside. Closed out pretty close to neutral yesterday. Was down 0.27, down 0.14 this morning. We've got Nvidia seeing quite the sell-off yesterday, was down 1.55%, down 0.29 this morning. We got Berkshire Hathaway looking quite green, up 1.11%, and continuing to see some buying pressure this morning, up 0.46. We've got Amazon down 0.65, looking quite neutral this morning, up down 0.08. We've got Eli Lilly up 1.58%, almost up a full percent this morning as well. ExxonMobil extremely neutral off of its close, 0% change on that board, but up 0.15 this morning. We've got Tesla seeing quite some downside, been on quite the sell-off trend, down 1.01% and almost down 0.4% this morning. We've got P&G looking quite green, up a full percent off of yesterday's close and this morning's open. I don't know why my computer always tries to update while I'm going live, but there's that for you. We've got Microsoft up 1.03% from its close yesterday, down 0.14% this morning. Google sitting down 2.27% off of its close, really struggling this morning. Up 0.2%, was up a little bit higher, but continued to see some sell-off off of that. We've got Meta up 0.4% and down 0.48% this morning. We might have to take a look at some TradFi charts. I know we got gold on the list this morning because gold making some amazing moves. We talked about silver as well. We will look at both of those. If you got any alt requests or stock requests for me to take a look at this morning, go ahead, drop them in the chat, and we will get to those in just a little bit. We've got the crypto side of things looking extremely green. You know, we were calling out hype yesterday for some nice bouncing potential if we did see some moves towards the upside, and we got above a trend line, got above that support line, up 8.9%. We are seeing one project in the red in that top 20, and that is Tron. We've got Bitcoin up 2.3%, Ethereum up 1.3%, we've got XRP up 1.5%, we've got BNB up 2.1%, Solana looking quite nice, up 5.7%. Like we said, Tron is down almost 1%. We've got Doge up 2.1%, Cardano really struggling after a heavy sell-off day, only up 0.8% and down 0.6% on the hourly. We've got Bitcoin Cash up 3.9, Chainlink up 3.6, Leo token looking pretty nice, up 0.6%. It is that exchange token, so kind of odd to see it in the green when everything else is also in the green. We've got Hyperliquid, like we said, up 8.9% and taking 2 spots in the market cap. We've got Stellar Lumens losing one of those spots from Hyperliquid, only up 1.2%. Litecoin sitting up 3.8%, and SWI looking quite nice, up 6.2%. For the fear and greed meters, we are extremely close to some greed here on the stock side. Kind of odd. We did get the S&P 500 extremely close to all-time highs, but as you saw, a lot of your big 7 is in the red right now. So that's meaning that we're seeing those medium-sized stocks really getting that nice push towards the upside. For the crypto side of things, we're still in some fear. You know, not really getting that strong push towards the upside that holds some key levels that we've called out before. So we'll kind of have to see what happens today. This is no change on the board from yesterday. Not really seeing much of a difference on the liquidation heat map either. Getting this zoomed on in, as you can see, we've still got our range here. After that nice little push towards the upside, we created just a little bit of liquidity directly above us. That's 93,600. We'll kind of have to see if we can get up there, grab that out, but that bottom side's starting to look a little bit juicy here. We are getting a little bit of a failure to get above a local fib. We will talk about that in just a second. We've got quite a bit of liquidity directly below us at 89,100, ranging all the way to 88,600. So keep your eyes on some of that. If we continue to fail to get above our golden pocket, we see that New York open with some negative money flow. Things could start looking towards the downside extremely quickly. As you can see here on the 3-day as well, we do have a little bit of liquidity towards the upside, but most of your liquidity is back down towards the downside. This is an area we've called out before. Nice little support area. We'll have to see if we're going to break that support now and actually start grabbing up some of this shorter time frame liquidity here. Let's zoom this on out. Take a look at that 2-week, because as we were talking about the other day, things are starting to look a little bit bare here. You have a little bit directly towards the upside here, but we've cleared out a lot of our liquidity in our sideways range that we've been talking about for a couple weeks now, and we'll just have to see if we can actually hold some support, continue with our upside trend here. We've got a few alt requests. I see Jay Violet asking for some gold. We already got that one on the list. I've been loving gold. I've been loving silver as well. We've been calling those out for a while. We've got Solana requested. We can take a look at that one as well. I thought I saw something else on there, but I guess I missed it. It was just JR spamming the keyboard there. Let's get over to that Bitcoin chart. Oh, if it would actually change. There we go. Get over to that Bitcoin chart and say good morning to the people in the house this morning. We got a viewer over on X. I appreciate you tuning on in this morning. We've got Jay in the house first. Good morning to you, sir. We got Stefan Farmer in here second, and it looks like Jay Violet was third in the chat this morning. Good morning to all of you. We've got Jessica Luck in here. We've got Donato Cabrera. We've got Chadwick as well. Good morning. We've got JR. If you missed his live right before mine, you are missing out. We have a lot of fun in the chats there. I shared a little bit about a dream that was more of like a nightmare. I had a dream that I took a trade with no stop loss and it liquidated my account, and then I destroyed my computer. But yeah, that was not fun to wake up to. But we've got Curtis Hill in here as well. We've got Noob Gecko in the house. Good morning. Let's see who else we got in here. We got Mortimer Duke in the house. We've got Allset as well. Good morning to both of you. Hope you're having a great day so far. Let's see. We got Jack Trades in here. Good morning. I guess I won't share. That's negative 42 Celsius. I don't want to spam the chat. Oh, no. It was like a spam of letters that made me think that you were asking for VVV, but it was JVVV. So that's why I said spam. But let's see. BC, did I miss ASTS yesterday? Actually, you did. Our stream was messing up yesterday. So let's get that on the list for today, and we'll take a look at that one. BC rage quit. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely rage quit in real life if I liquidated my whole account as well. I'd be like, okay, screw this, we're done. And then I'd be like really upset because I couldn't play video games, and then I'd have to rebuild my computer, and then I'd get right back into trading. But let's dive into this Bitcoin chart here. We've been talking about some things that we've been wanting to see, and it looks like for now we continue to hold at least the top side of this fair value gap. We've seen us get some dips into the fair value gap here, but as soon as we dip into the fair value gap, we see lots of buying pressure coming on in that push us to the top side here. Let's hide this local fib range because it's kind of covering up some of that fair value gap there. We will pull that back up on the shorter term time frame. As you can see, we've had some nice buying pressure that pushes us back towards the top side of this fair value gap. That is an area we've been calling out for some interesting price action. If we can continue to maintain the top side of this fair value gap, really start seeing some money flow change things here on the daily, you could get some nice pushes back up to a level we were calling out yesterday, and that's 96,800. That's an area where we have a lot of resistance though as a 4-hour area. We've also got a small little fair value gap there on the daily. So we'll kind of have to see if we can continue to range here, really cool things off on some of that midterm time frame, and then get some money flow coming back in. We do have a little bit of sideways momentum here on that prime oscillator MACD. We were calling that out yesterday. With our buying pressure though, we're starting to see that MACD get a little bit of some curvature back towards the upside. So keep your eye on some of this money flow. See if we can get that bleed over into the 4-hour, and then that 4-hour start bleeding over into the daily. We've been calling out here. We've got some red money flow, and we'll kind of have to see if we can get that curvature back towards the upside again, because if we don't, it's looking like it could be a harsher move back down. let's get this zoomed on in. Take a look at that 4-hour there. 4-hour continues to range here. We do have a little bit of a nice support area we were calling out yesterday. That's 89,600. Keep your eye on that area. If we do get some downside action, we have lots of buying pressure there. As you can see, we are getting a little bit of a rollover here on the 4-hour. Same with that MACD line. Let's get it zoomed on in a little bit. We've got that rollover here as well as your money flow starts to come on out. We do have a lack of volume though, so keep your eyes down here. We could get that pickup of volume back down there. We do have the bottom side of that fair value gap to really keep your eye on. That's 88,600. All of our liquidity resides below 89,600 and in this zone to the bottom side of that fair value gap. So kind of keep your eyes on that area. It is a little bit of a range there. We've got quite a bit of liquidity. If we start to lose some of this, we really see that pickup of selling pressure on the shorter term time frame. We could easily see this 4-hour continue on down and that daily money flow get that harsher rollover. So keep your eyes on that money flow this morning. We are trying to hold some areas here. As you can see, that top side of that fair value gap, also the 50% on our local fibs. Let's get that pulled back up so you can see things just a little bit better here. We got that rejection off of our platinum pocket, really struggling to get above the golden pocket right now, but that 50% line and that fair value gap top come in at the same level, and that's been our support area for now. We are getting some harsh rollovers here on the hourly though for that MACD. Keep your eyes on that. If we continue to maintain some of this green buying pressure, could easily just get that nice little break below and then a curve back towards the upside though. So starting to see that pickup of volume. We will have to see with this pickup of volume if it comes with any kind of buying pressure or if that's just going to be a nice little break in our positive buying pressure and a harsher rollover. So keep your eyes on the money flow this morning. Things are in an interesting position. If we really fail to get above this golden pocket and you break below that 50, things don't look very nice as you've got all of the liquidity down here below 89,600. Keep your eye on that money flow, because that's going to tell the direction here. We do have the 15-minute in the morning ranging sideways as we have some buying pressure. Not a positive outlook though, as you continue to see this growing buying pressure and you lose a little bit of volume here and you just range sideways. Things don't look very positive. That could be that break towards the downside after a failure to get above that golden pocket. Keep your eyes on that. If you fail to get above the golden pocket a few more times, as you've gotten that failure to get above it 3 times, really looking like this is going to be some strong resistance, and then you could really break back down as this positive buying pressure is really getting overwhelmed by some selling pressure here. So keep your eyes on that. Bears and bulls really doing some battle in this range. We will have to see how that New York Open goes. We do have that extremely strong resistance up at the platinum pocket. Starts at about 93,200. That's where you see all of that wicking action really starting from back there. We'll kind of have to see if we can get that break above a strong push towards that stronger resistance and then really see that harsher cool off, or if we're just going to range here sideways, see that harsher money flow coming on in and then get that harsher break towards the downside. So few kind of moves to keep your eye on. If you break above the golden pocket, you've got lots of resistance above us. That'd be that nice little move towards the upside, pick up liquidity, and then that harsher correction down. If you hold the 50% line here, continue with this ranging this morning, it does look like you would see that exhaustion of all your buying pressure and get that harsher move back towards the downside. So either way, kind of keep your eye on that downside. Would like to see that grab up of liquidity directly above us and then see that harsher correction. That way you don't have a little bit of a pull back towards the upside after a fake out towards the downside, and then really leave a lot more liquidity towards the downside. So that's kind of what I got for the Bitcoin chart this morning. Let's get over to the news. We got Trade Intuition in the house. Good morning, good morning. Let's get our news pulled on up. We had a few things to go over. The Fed, as always, lying to our faces. We've got Kelly Evans. This is not QE. We went over this yesterday. Things were a little bit iffy with our stream though, so I'm gonna dive a little bit further into this one. The biggest surprise to come out of the Fed's decision to cut rates again yesterday was not the rate cut, which was widely expected, but their decision to restart Treasury purchases. Taken at face value, the move does increase the size of the Fed's balance sheet. It does sound a lot like quantitative easing that we've lived through the last decade. And it certainly does excite crypto bulls and others in the marketplace who think their holdings will benefit from a looser Fed. But it's not that. First of all, the Fed is buying short-term treasuries, which we talked about yesterday, not the longer-term notes. That might have a more direct impact on mortgage rates or the economy. Secondly, these extra purchases are happening now for tax reasons and are meant to keep their target rate from accidentally drifting higher. And thirdly, even though the Fed's balance sheet is large, so too is the US economy. In fact, David Zervos of Jefferies pointed out months ago the balance sheet is typically around 20% the size of the economy. It peaked at 36% a few years ago after COVID, is back to 21%, and will remain there even with the additional purchases, notes JP Morgan. But as we talked about yesterday a little bit, kind of during the iffy part of the stream, you are seeing quite some worrisome signs. This is more just let's hold things where they are. Let's keep your local banks from absolutely crapping the bed while we see if we are in an okay spot in the economy. This is the kind of quantitative easing that doesn't help the small. This is the kind of quantitative easing that just keeps businesses afloat, banks afloat, and billionaires happy. This is not the kind of quantitative easing that will really give your assets the great push towards the upside, which is why you've seen Bitcoin really struggle here. It got a nice little push towards the upside, and then people really dived into what Jerome Powell said, banking the whole economy on AI growth, seeing that they're really just going to float short-term bond buybacks and not long-term buybacks, which actually have an effect on the economy. And they were like, oh, this isn't that bullish. So we will keep our eyes on the beginning of 2026. They will be doing 3 months worth of short-term buybacks, which does put some new money into the economy, but it has a quick return, as these are short-term bonds, which will end up getting bought back eventually. You'll see a quick inflow of capital and outflow of capital that doesn't do a whole lot to actually help any of the small people and just ends up helping businesses and banks and billionaires. So keep your eyes on that. A bit of quantitative easing, but as they said, it's not the quantitative easing that actually does anything for us. We did have this one as well. We'll keep our eyes on this as it goes forward, because this is just rumors for now, but SpaceX may go public, and what that means for Elon Musk's rocket company. We won't dive too much into the rest of the article here, but in an era when spaceflight companies are increasingly taking on endeavors once the realm of government agencies like NASA, SpaceX stands out. The company, which billionaire Elon Musk founded in 2002, has firmly solidified its status as one of the most reputable and well-known commercial cosmic ventures. SpaceX not only routinely facilitates private space voyages, and launches its own satellites, but it's critical to the country's own spaceflight ambitions as NASA eyes human missions to the moon and Mars. Of course, such a reputation coupled with SpaceX's lucrative and busy rocket launch cadence have made the company one of the most sought after investment opportunities. But because SpaceX is a privately held company, the public isn't able to directly buy stock and participate in its growth yet. We will kind of keep our eyes on this. There are some rumors that mid to late 2026, that could all change. If that changes, this is the stock of the decade to buy because it gets lots of money from the government to facilitate things that NASA is just not able to. We've got that rescue mission that they did from the International Space Station. We've got tons of government money coming in to launch satellites. They've got, as we all know, internet that they offer with satellites as well. So a lot of money coming on in. But if we're able to finally invest in it, the area that SpaceX could go would be insane, because that would be a lot of money to actually push towards a Mars mission. A lot of money to actually push towards doing a lot of things in the moon, to the moon like the 60s, but we're actually looking at doing stuff on the moon this time. So instead of just putting a man on the moon, we're actually looking at doing stuff on the moon. I know there's been a lot of talk about putting communications on the moon as well. That would be uninterrupted from things going on the ground. There's other things as well, like putting energy sources on the moon. So we'll kind of keep our eyes on that. SpaceX might be the stock of the decade if it actually IPOs. Data centers in space as well, as Jay just put in the chat. So yeah, instead of just going to the moon, we're actually looking at doing something on the moon. Energy laser beams. Yeah, turning the moon into a Death Star. That seems a little sci-fi, but that could definitely be something that happens. We'll keep our eyes on that SpaceX news as it continues to come out. This is just rumblings for now, but if it ends up being true, that is the stock of the decade, and you don't want to miss out on buying. Basent emphasizes economic growth in bid to ease regulations. We've been talking a lot as the Trump administration has kind of tried to shift things up. We've been seeing a deregulation in some industries. It has been getting a lot of pushback. But here, Basent really talks about the fact that we need to have a little more deregulation if we really want to see some economic growth here. So Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said he would continue his campaign to reduce financial regulations, highlighting the Trump's administration effort to bolster economic security amid concerns over persistent inflation and affordability. Economic growth is critical to financial stability, Bessent said in a letter accompanying the 2025 annual report for the Financial Stability Oversight Council, a regulatory body created in response to the 2008 financial crisis. Administration officials have already moved to overhaul a range of financial regulations this year, including relaxing capital requirements that lenders have said limit their ability to act as intermediaries in the treasury markets, and eliminating post-crisis curbs on leveraged lending. At the same time, this does sound nice, but we've been here before. So as you leverage on your lending, it creates big problems, and we will have to keep our eyes as it goes forward, because while it might help in the short term, it just creates more problems in the long term. And then when you see the crash from it, it crashes extremely hard. So while it might be positive in the short term, it does have more negative long-term outlooks. I'm not going to dive a whole lot further into that article. We got a lot of alt requests to go over. And if we got any other alt requests in here, go ahead and throw them in the chat. We will get to that in just a second. We did want to go over gold and silver. They are looking quite nice as silver continues to make some all-time highs, and gold is pushing towards all-time highs all over again. So let's get gold pulled on up here. We called this out yesterday. If we could reclaim the 4,255, we would have that push towards 4,382. That is that old all-time high on gold. We've been making that push. We are looking just a little bit toppy here. We do have a nice 4-hour fair value gap, but let's zoom this out just a little bit further here. You're getting some signs here on the daily. You're getting that nice little curvature back towards the upside on that MACD line. You're getting that curvature back towards the upside on your prime oscillator as well. You do still have a lack of volume, and your money flow barely maintaining in the green. So we'll kind of have to see, because all-time highs does look like it could be resistance all over again. And then you'd keep your eye towards this fair value gap that we're making for some retesting to try to get some nice little cool off there, and then some continuation towards the upside. We'll kind of keep our eyes on that one. You do have that 4-hour also looking extremely toppy here as you broke above 4,255. You've got this nice little 4-hour fair value gap here. Let's get this one pulled on up. Let's see. 4-hour fair value gap. I don't know why I didn't go from my tablet that I was working on this morning, but a nice little area to potentially see some retest at if we continue to see some faltering for now. We do have that coming in at 4,280 for the bottom side and 4,316 for that top side. That is an area to kind of watch for. We could see a little bit of some continued faltering here. At least try to maintain that top side of our fair value gap for a little bit of some cool off, and then some continuation towards those all-time highs on gold, $4,382. We are seeing just a little bit of toppiness here, but your money flow is starting to get that push towards the upside. So don't fade it just yet. Could continue to get some pushes towards the upside here. You got that 1 hour seeing just a little bit of some pullback starting. Just a nice little red candle. Have not broken below the lows of this candle though, so we'll kind of keep our eyes on that going into today. We do have some nice pushing of money flow. As you can see, it just continues to come on in as your volume continues to increase. You are getting some overbought signals that are starting to flash, but nothing overly concerning just yet. You do have that fair value gap to really keep your eye on for a support area, give you a nice little bit of some cool off on the shorter term time frame. As you can see, 15-minute getting some sideways action here, and it's getting that cool off here on the 15-minute as your money flow continues to come on in. You are seeing a little bit of some rollover, not too unexpected. Volume has been increasing on the short-term time frame as well. So to see a better cool off, that'd be that nice little top side of the fair value gap, and holding that area. If you don't hold that top side, looking back towards that midline, 4,000, basically 300 coming in for the midline of that fair value gap there. Would need to hold the midline to really continue bullish for now, and then get that nice little push back towards the upside. I would look for 4,315 to be that first bouncing area that we keep our eyes on. That would really give you that nice stronger push towards all-time highs. If you do come a little bit lower though, could maintain that bullish structure off the midline there. Eventually we will end up closing this out. I would look at closing that out after an all-time high push. Money flow has been coming in with some extreme strength here, and we'll just keep our eyes on that New York AM open. 15 minutes here on silver. Also, just chipping away at some all-time highs. We've been calling silver out for quite a while. Let's get this zoomed on out. As you can see, we've got a massive fair value gap here as well, but things are looking pretty nice. Your money flow here on silver is red, and if you can get that break into some green money flow here on the daily, you could really explode way higher here. You do have your 2618 all the way up at $72.75. So that's that area I'd kind of keep my eye on as we got above our 1618 here, really held that as some support, and then got that continuation here. We could really see that next real falter area being at that $72 range. Silver exploding with some red money flow here on the daily. So keep your eyes on that one. We have been getting that inflow of money flow here on the shorter term time frame. It is starting to wane just a little bit, but continues to really just chip away at all-time highs. As you can see here, this was a all-time high, nice little flag out, all-time high, nice little flag out, all-time high, nice little flag out, all-time high, and we will just have to see if we can continue to have our money flow coming on it in. I would look for a nice little area on the 4 hour for a fair value gap. Let's get that pulled back up there, get that 4 hour fair value gap. Now, I guess we'll have to go off the daily. These aren't as big, so we'll have to wait on this candle to close here today to really see that fair value gap area we would retest on. As you can see, it would kind of look here to here, so about 62.40 to 63.14. That'd be a fair value gap area to kind of keep your eye on. We will have to see if we can get that continuation of money flow coming on in on silver that really gets that daily to go from red money flow to green money flow. That would really give you that ability to push way higher on silver. As you can see, this weekly also looking extremely nice here, getting that next little push up towards the upside, and your money flow here on the weekly is extremely green. So keep your eyes on some of that short-term time frame money flow. 15-minute looking a little bit toppy here, not too unexpected after continued all-time high pushes just over and over and over again. As you can see, we got the push towards all-time high, flag out, push towards all-time high, flag out, push towards all-time high, flag out, push towards all-time high. So money flow was extremely green here yesterday. We'll have to see if we can get that nice little continuation of money flow. I wouldn't fade this just yet, but silver is looking quite nice. We were calling that out at the cup and handle. So keep your eyes on some of those top side ranges. Like I said, $72 is that next real area where we could start to see some faltering on that higher term time frame there. We had a stock request, ASTS. Do we have any other requests for me this morning? We had Solana on the list. Didn't see anything else. All-time high long, everything now. Thanks, BC. Oh my goodness, JR, you absolute degen. Let's see. Scrolling on up, not seeing any. Nope, not seeing any other alt request. Oh, we got Astra on the list. There we go. I scrolled up to see if y'all had asked for any. We've got Astra on that list. We can take a look at that one as well. Let's get to ASTS. ASTS, obviously the stocks. ASTS Space Mobile. Not sure what this one is, but we'll kind of have to see here. ASTS Space Mobile engages in building broadband cellular networks in space. So looking like a nice company to potentially buy in, as that seems to be that next push, space is that next real big area to explore. let's get this fib extension level pulled on up, because as you can see, we're trying to break towards some new all-time highs on this one as well. The trend is towards the upside. I might have to dive further into this company after the show, really see what's going on. We've got our lows to our highs to our lows here. Holding the 50% line on our fib extension levels, getting a little bit of some pullback towards it this morning. As you can see, that pre-market is opening up directly on our 50% line. We are seeing just a little bit of some toppiness here, so we will keep our eyes on our money flow here. As you can see, you're getting that nice little push towards the upside. Saw those overbought signals flash. Nice little sell off, push towards the upside, overbought signals. Money flow is trying to get that next little break towards the upside. Pre-market trying to cool things off for now. This is that 1 hour there. Let's get things towards the daily. See what's going on for the longer term time frame. Daily money flow starting a little bit of some curvature back towards the upside. We'll kind of have to see. We do have a little bit of a lack of volume. You're starting to see a few reversal signals flash here on the daily, but if you can maintain some of this range here, you do have an old fair value gap as well, coming from the 382 to just below the 50% line. So nice little area to potentially see a little bit of retesting if you don't hold that 50% line. Let's get that drawn on up. Actually, before we dive into the shorter term time frame here, nice little CME gap to keep your eye on. Let's get it colored blue, because that's what we do with our CME gaps. So potential for an area of retest here. It was a nice little area that we've already closed. So actually, let's make that a black background so we know it's closed. So if we break below that 50% line, the first real area I'd look for some bouncing at 81.35, top side of that CME gap. If you can't hold that, we do have an area where we've got lots of buying pressure at 77.95. Pre-market trying to hold that 50% line for now. Daily money flow is looking nice. We were talking about that hourly money flow also looking extremely nice here. We did get a little bit of some cool off and trying to get that curvature back towards the upside. MACD is looking a little bit toppy as well, getting some sideways momentum coming on in. But we'll keep our eyes on that short-term time frame money flow and see if we're going to get that pull back below the 50% line and towards our CME gap. First area, like I said, going to be 81.33. I would like to see a retest of resistance at the 382 though. That's 75.66. That'd be a better entry point, as we're looking extremely toppy here on the 15-minute. But money flow really failing to make the all-time highs that it was doing over here. We got that nice push in, a little bit of sell-off, push back in, a little bit of sell-off, and really faltering here. So a little bit of sell-off in the pre-market. Could look for that harsher dip back towards the downside. That's what I got for ASTS. Missed out on this one yesterday, so nice little push towards that 50% line. Trying to hold that for now. You could see a little bit of sideways momentum on top of that to get some short-term time frame cool off. But with the higher term time frames, if you start to see that faltering of money flow, could really get that harsher pullback down. So that's what I got for ASTS. Let's see what's going on with some Solana. We were looking at hype the other day. Nice little push back up towards resistance. We've got Solana looking quite nice as well. Strong push towards the upside. Reclaimed 137.12 and then continued on back towards the upside there. So nice little break above, push back down, confirm as support, and then push back towards the upside. Let's see what's going on the daily time frame. We are still in a sideways range here. We've been talking about these levels for a while. your money flow is still extremely red here on the daily time frame, and it's looking quite a bit like Bitcoin. You do have your MACD run a little bit sideways here. There we go. MACD run a little bit sideways. Prime oscillator also run a little bit sideways. But unlike Bitcoin, your money flows extremely in the red. You do have lots of volume, so it does seem like the bears and the bulls are doing a much stronger battle here on Solana. We would need to break above 147.90 to see any kind of continuation with some strength towards the upside. Our first levels to really do some battle with, though, are going to be 140.86. So let's zoom this on in, see what's going on that hourly. We did get that nice little bounce at 130.10 and then continued through an area we were calling on out for a potential area of resistance, 133.40. We saw a little bit of resistance at 137.12 before we got that break above. Now we're starting to see just a little bit of toppiness here on the 1 hour as we see that sideways momentum coming on in. You are getting a little bit of a curvature back towards the upside here on your prime oscillator. You do have a nice little divergence as well. Not too unexpected. You could get that nice little continued curve back up. Really see a stronger bearish divergence that prints here, so keep your eyes on that. We are ranging a little bit sideways. We would just need some continuation of money flow here. We did talk about some potential higher levels on Bitcoin too. That would give you some stronger bearish divergences there that really give you that stronger pushback down. That first area I'd kind of keep my eyes on, 137.12. And then keep our eyes a little bit lower, 133.40. We didn't really get a test on that level. So if we do get that harsher pushback down, claim some resistance, claim some of that liquidity that was towards the downside on Bitcoin, I would look down towards 133.40 on some Solana. We have seen that come in as some resistance before. We don't really ever test it as some support except for back here. We do see it come in as some resistance over and over again, but never really claim it as some support. So to claim that as some support with a little bit of a pushback down, really keep your higher lows coming on in here. That was on the MACD line. There we go. Really keep your higher lows coming on in. You do have your lower highs coming on in though, so keep your eye on that. This is a nice little squeeze. We would kind of have to see if we break towards the downside or if we get some nice money flow coming on in and then get that break back towards 154.83. So keep your eyes on this. We do continue to squeeze on Solana as we do have all of these higher lows, but we do have these lower highs coming on in. Keep your eye on that. We do have the 15-minute and the morning looking a little bit nice for a little bit of continuation towards our resistance at 140. As you can see, that MACD nice and cooled off with that nice little pullback towards the downside. MACD breaking above our indicator line here, starting to print those green candles. We did have that brief little visit into some red money flow this morning, curving back towards the upside here. Prime oscillator also getting that push back up, and we'll have to see if we can break above some of our local range here at 138 and then get that push back up towards 140 to see a harsher resistance there. So is a little bit toppy on that prime oscillator. Would definitely be a stronger top at 140. We'll kind of have to see if we can get some continuation above that towards our other resistance area at 143, or if we're just going to see that strong resistance at 140 and get that harsher claim of our liquidity down in this range here at about 135 to 133. So keep your eyes on some of that downside there. We're looking quite toppy. We've got Aster as well. Let's get a look at some Aster on the crypto side, obviously. Let's see what's going on. Aster on some Coinbase. Not sure what chart I've looked at this on before. Dang, nice little downtrend. Let's see if something else has some better history so we can pull some levels from the past. We've got Aster on Binance. There we go. Way better history there. Coinbase was late to launch this one. Let's get this pulled up on the daily time frame. Continued sell off there, holding the lows though. So let's get some of these horizontal rays drawn on out for you. See what's going on there. We've got our lows down here at 90 cents. We've held that area on our candle bodies here on the daily time frame over and over again. We do get the wicking action below, but our candle bodies here on the daily time frame really hold at 91 cents. We're trying to get a little bit of some pushback towards the upside. You've got that MACD getting some curvature here back towards the upside. You've got your prime oscillator ranging a little bit sideways as you really fail with some money flow. Your volume is a little bit low, but some interesting signs. You've got some bottoming indicators starting to flash on the prime oscillator. Let's get this zoomed on in. Take a look at the 4-hour, get a fib pulled on up from our highs to our lows. See what's going on there. We are failing the 236 here. That's that first area I'd really like to see us get above. We do have a short-term horizontal ray to kind of keep your eye on with all of these equal candle bodies up here. Let's get this pulled on up. As you can see, 96 cents is that area to kind of keep your eye on. That's where all those equal candle bodies come on in. Let's get that as a shorter term horizontal ray. That's where we start to see all of our selling pressure really step in on Aster. We're getting a nice little bounce off of our support area at 91 cents. We will have to see if we can get that nice little cool off here in the morning to get that push back above 97 cents. We really falter at that area over and over again. You've got some red money flow here on the shorter term time frame. Hourly looking a little bit nasty. We are getting some sideways momentum coming on in on that prime oscillator, but the nice little thing we are seeing is a bullish divergence. So if we can get that nice little pullback here, get some nice little cool off, you could have a double bullish divergence, really give you that nice little ability to break above our resistance. If you can't break above resistance all over again, looking towards the downside would be that move to watch for. We do have some levels way down here on the shorter term time frame to potentially keep your eye on, and that's about 86 cents. So that's where we get our equal candle bodies down here. We get some wicking action off of it as well back here, so you can see equal candle bodies, nice little wick in action. We did get that grab of liquidity below it. We'll kind of have to see if we can find some support down there, or if we're just going to continue with our range here below 97 cents and above 91. We got Lunar Beaches Crypto in the house. Good morning, sir. Hope you're having a great day so far. If you've got those emojis, go ahead and drop them for him. We've got Melissa in the house as well. Good morning to you. We've got Conspiracy Crypto in here as well. Good morning. Too much BTC. Never too much BTC. It's all about stacking that BTC. That's what I'm here for. That was Aster for you. Let's get this zoomed on in. Take a look at that 15-minute and see what the morning might be bringing your way here. You can see a little bit of some sideways ranging. We do have some bearish divergences that have started to stack up here on the shorter term time frame. Like we said, seeing a nice little pushback towards the downside will give you some better cool off on the hourly. You are seeing some nice consolidation here on that MACD and prime oscillator, but lack of money flow here on the shorter term time frame, and really seeing that volume start to falter as well. So kind of look towards 97 cents all over again. See if you can get that stronger push back up, really solidify that as some resistance. That'd give you another bearish divergence to kind of print, and then you could push back towards the downside with a little more strength. See if you can hold the middle of this range here. That'd give you that ability to really get that stronger push towards resistance, like we were saying. Money flow trying to break into the green here though, so do keep your eye on that. Looks like you could get that push towards resistance all over again, and then really see that harsher drive towards the downside on that money flow. Same with that price action. Really keep your eyes on some of those, the middle of this range here. We do have that coming in at about that 93.7 area. So really got that strong resistance above us, really starting to falter, looking toppy on the 15-minute. As we said, the hourly was also looking a little bit toppy as well. So seeing some sell off at this point would not be too unexpected. Money flow in the red pretty much across the board here. Nice little sideways range though. Can basically just short from 97, and then anytime you get close to that 91, hit a little bit of a long. So nice little sideways range, a whole lot more solid than some of these other sideways ranges have been. I don't have any other alt requests this morning, so let's see if Alex O has got his stream all set up, and then we'll get that redirect all set up. Looks like they've changed the settings in YouTube. What the heck? All right then. There we go. That's where it is. We will get that redirect all set up for Alex O Crypto. Hopefully he's already got that. There we go. Yep, he's got a stream all set up. So here in just a second, we'll redirect you to Alex O Crypto for some morning trading. I'm sure he's got things all ready to go to make some money. If you've been missing on out, he's been having some bangers of some trades. We traded to FOMC. That man did absolutely amazing. So if you like to scalp, that is the place to be. We've got two other shows here on the Piper Academy though. We've got that morning market report. That is the breakdown of your macro data. That is the place to be every single morning, so you know what to expect going forward. BC talks like he's from Nolans. Hey, sometimes the Southern comes on out. I am Southern at heart, and that'll never go away. But that morning market report at 10 a.m. Eastern time, that is the place to be if you need the breakdown of the macro data. And trust me, you need the breakdown of the macro data, because we're starting to see a lot of signs in the macro economy that aren't overly positive, and the Fed is seeing the same things, which is why they're like more taking a step back than being like, yep, this is the direction we're going to go here, or the direction we're going to go there. They're really split at the Fed. They don't know what to do, and it kind of is trickling on down. We don't really know what to do either. We're just hoping that they print some money so assets go up. We've also got Trading with OC at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That is the place to be if you love to trade and you like to make money and you like to put on tinfoil hats. Let's get Lunar Beach's Crypto's YouTube shared on out. If you're not following him, he goes live every single evening. I'm not sure what that time is. Go ahead, throw that in the chat for people, LBC. But until next time, make sure to wake up, because today is going to be a good day.
Wake up, let's run it. Charts up, we love it. Backpack, we done it. GM, good morning, we run it. Sunrise hits like a highlight reel. Coffee poured, yeah, this grind feel real. Wallet looking healthy like a post-gym meal. Crypto fam locked in, no off-day deals. Throwing shade, now we throw confetti. Market bounce back, hands strong, we steady. Dreams too big, so the doubts feel petty. Bull mode hitting, hope you're ready. We ain't stressing, we pressing, blessing the session. Turn every rejection to fuel for progression. Charts look clean, yeah, the vibe is a weapon. We build every day, this is compounding lessons. GM, we rise, we go. Good morning, crypto, steal the show. GM, get hype, let's grow. Another day up, yeah, we glow. Hands to the sky like let's get paid. Chase big goals, not just upgrades.
here just flips and vibes, turning old dreams into real life strides. Hard days hit, we don't divide. Team eats together when the market rise. Tap in early, that sunrise hustle. Bear tried to break us, couldn't touch muscle. Stack small wins, that's compound muscle. Every new block, another flex, no struggle. Climb fast, no breaks, no doubt. Big cheers when the green breaks out. Crypto fam in the chat, full shout. We don't clock in, we break out.